Norman Jr. last night and becomes a third division champion. He snatched that welterweight belt from Brian Norman Jr. And listen, man, I've been telling y'all from the moment that the fight was announced. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the channel. I told y'all from when this fight was first announced that Devin Haney was going to beat Brian Norman Jr. by unanimous decision. Now, because so many people hate Devin Haney, right? Y'all seen Brian Norman Jr. have the knockout of the year against Jin Sasaki. But like I said back then, I'll say it now. Who the fuck is Jin Sasaki? Who is he? Who has he fought? Last time I checked, Jin Sasaki was already knocked out before he fought Brian Norman Jr. this year, right? Let's look at Santillan. Santillan wasn't a champion. Santillan was never considered an elite boxer or a top 3 boxer at 147, right? And that was a war. It wasn't like Brian Norman Jr. just dominated Santillan. That was a tough fight for Brian Norman Jr. That fight could have went either way. Ultimately, Brian Norman Jr. ended up stopping Santillan, right, in good fashion. But it wasn't a dominant performance, right? Let's look at the fight before that. Let's look at the fight with Quentin Randall. That was another tough fight for Brian Norman Jr. And based off of these fights, I've been telling people for months leading up to the fight, I said, Brian Norman Jr. reminds me of Danny Garcia because he's flat-footed. He depends on the left hook to knock people out. And when he can't do that, right? And when he can't do that, he struggles, right? Brian Norman Jr. in that fight last night against Devin Haney was very flat-footed, very slow, right? Bad legs, bad feet. You know what I'm saying? And he just couldn't land the way he wanted on Devin Haney because Devin Haney, with the experience that he has, Devin Haney was using his jab. Devin Haney was throwing that left hook. Devin Haney was going to the body. And every time Brian Norman Jr. started to get comfortable, Devin Haney would grab him and clinch him. And Devin Haney was punching on the clinch. And that was affecting Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr., he did not look comfortable from round 2 to 12. Round 1, I actually think Brian Norman Jr. won the first round. And that's because Devin Haney was downloading information. He wanted to feel that power. He wanted to see how is Brian Norman Jr. going to approach this fight. I think that Devin Haney was expecting Brian Norman Jr. to completely maul him from the first round. And if he would have done that, then Brian Norman Jr. would have got put on his ass in the first round. But he didn't do that. Brian Norman Jr. surprisingly was a little hesitant. And after the first round, his dad, Brian Norman Sr., was saying, what are you doing? Go after him. Stop being so hesitant. Make him uncomfortable. Go at him. He's scared. He's not sure of himself. He's not confident of himself. And the reason, and shout out to Brian Norman Sr., right? The reason why Brian Norman Sr. was saying that was based